Howdy, howdy. Welcome on into the pre-show before the pre-show. Happy Monday.
What it do, party people? We're back.
Oh, are you rubbing it in? That's a taco.
Oh, I didn't do that on purpose. I promise you I didn't do that on purpose. Pickle forgot her lunch.
I had an awesome taco salad on deck for some grub this afternoon.
I promise you I didn't do that on purpose. That is purely coincidental.
I'm calling BS, but okay. I'll choose kindness and choose to believe you this Monday.
You should.
But if it was like Tuesday, you'd be done.
Yeah. You gonna watch the Super Bowl? You gonna watch the Super Bowl halftime show?
Definitely gonna watch the Super Bowl halftime show. I'll have it on. That's the first weekend of scheduling girls by district basketball, so that tends to take up my entire Sunday.
Right.
But it'll be on in the background.
Okay.
Definitely will pause though for halftime.
Yeah. It'll be Kansas City and San Francisco for those who didn't know.
Yeah.
They're gonna play in the Super Bowl. And that's your Super Bowl breakdown here on Texas Football Today. Okay, so I created something over the weekend, and I don't know how to deploy it. Okay? And so I want to open it up to you, because you're smart, and I want to open it up to our viewers, who are also here. And so I want to show you what I created. I'm going to put it up on the big board. Here we go. You're watching
now
live
you can
coverage.
quit rubbing in that I forgot my taco salad.
Doing this. I made a wheel.
Oh, my.
And it's got every Texas high school football team on it.
Really?
Okay? Okay, so here's what you do. You click to spin. Watch this. Big money, no whammies. Big money, no whammies. Big money, no whammies. And the winner of today's roll is Katie Taylor. So there's got to be something dumb we can do with this, right?
Yeah.
And I can't quite figure out what it is. So if you have ideas on how we can use this wheel of every Texas high school, which randomly selects a Texas high school football team, please let us know. Because there's definitely a bit we can do with this. And I'm
The first thing that came to mind was mascots. Like, it pops up the team, you have to say the mascot, and there's repercussions.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That was just the first. Like, when I see the wheel.
Yeah, but then isn't that just putting undue pressure on myself?
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Because, like, here, we'll do it again. I can remove them so that, like, it'll just continue to winnow down until we get to, like, 8 teams that we haven't selected. So let's try it again. Here we go. We'll spin the big wheel.
Yeah, because if not, we would not remember what teams we had talked about.
Absolutely not.
Because that's like 1,500 more episodes.
So, let's see. It's going to land on Frisco Reedy.
Wow.
The Lions. There's got to be something we can do with this. And I'm curious of, like, if anybody has an idea for a bit that we can use, that if we've ever needed to just randomly select a Texas high school football program that feels like it's doable.
Step said closest Whataburger to the school that pops up. What, you want me to recite the address of the Whataburger? I think Step's hungry. Go get you some lunch, brother.
I think it's lunchtime. I think it's lunchtime. I'm just saying that, like, we could, for example, my initial idea was, like, we're just going to have a Texas high school football team of the day. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, congratulations to Frisco Reedy. You're the Texas high school football team of the day. And, I don't know, put their logo somewhere for the duration of the show. I don't know. We could do something like that. If you have a big dumb idea for a way that we can utilize this wheel, it feels useful in a very dumb way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I came up with it last night, and then I was just like, great, I have it.
Yeah, what do I do with it?
Now what? So if you know the answer to now what, please let us know. We'll spin it one more time. Okay. And then we're going to hit
Wham! Oh, man. That thing's got to go.
Shout out to Quitman.
Let's go.
Go Bulldogs. Hit the theme, Expo.
Oh, no. I wasn't ready.
Oh, no.
I was too pumped up about Quitman.
Hit the arrow sign. Yes, y'all. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Lewisville, Texas, it's Texas Football Today.
Yeah.
A program that remembered to do a show today.
Whoa.
We kind of did it. We're back. We took a week off.
I actually think this will be our first week with a full week of shows, right?
Yeah, let's not go crazy.
Well, kind of.
Well, we don't have a great history of performing on Thursday.
Yeah. Okay. Listen.
My name is Greg Tepper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine, TexasFootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Whether you're watching us live, TexasFootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all of those places, or you'll listen to the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part to support your local mediocre internet show. I am sitting over there at the helm today, making us sound good. She is the Duchess of the Dorks, Miss 305, soon to be Mrs. 305.
Correct.
She's Ashley Pickle.
I don't know if Brian realizes that he's going to be Mr. 305, which seems not good because that would mean he would be trying to take that from Mr. Bull, and I do not stand that.
Well, I mean, you're
they're like number 1 and 2 in my life, and I'm not going to specify the order.
Nor should you. Whatever happened? What happened to that random pit bull blanket you got sent?
Oh yeah, it's in
or pit bull sheet.
Yeah, it was like a tapestry. If you will.
Yeah.
We have it at the house. If we ever feel like we need to, get some Mr. Bull going.
I know. I remember it having. I remember it being a pit bull.
I think it
tapestry.
I think it was like a live, laugh, love pit bull thing.
Okay.
It's awesome.
Okay.
Whoever sent that,
I did not.
Thank you again.
I cannot remember. I remember that coming to the office and being deeply confused.
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah.
I still do not know who sent it to me.
You really don't?
No.
Nobody claimed it?
No one has ever told me that they sent it. I don't know. It would be a great time for me to find out, but I do not know. It just said Mr. Worldwide on it.
What a great mystery.
Yeah.
Like, what a terrific, harmless mystery.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Like, nobody.
I would love to say thank you appropriately.
If you never find out, like, that's all good.
Yeah, you know what?
If you also find out,
I want to know.
I want to have that person on the show.
Yeah.
Today is, oh man, I'm caught up on Mr. Worldwide. Today
As
is
you should be.
Monday, January
All
29th,
is right in the world.
2024. It is 304 days until Thanksgiving. Happy birthday to Oprah Winfrey. It is episode 1721. On today's show, folks, big show, we've got some headlines from across the state, including a couple of pretty seismic Texas high school football coaching hires. One which is official now and one which is reported, but we have good sources telling us it's going to happen. Then we're going to announce the 2023 Whataburger Super Team. Announcing the 2023 Waterburger Super Team. You guys voted. You chose this list. You can't hold me responsible. I beat the charges here. So we will find out who you guys decided to put on the 2023 Whataburger Super Team. I get choked up talking about the Whataburger Super Team.
Just exciting times.
And then are we going to roll the how realignment works?
Yeah, we got it.
We're going to just a refresher. It is realignment week. Thursday at 9 a.m. is when realignment gets announced. We will be live starting at 8:45, live from Birdville for the realignment announcement. I can also tell you we'll probably go 8:45 till about 10. I know we've got at least one big name guest lined up.
Nice.
I can tell you that we will be joined by the deputy director of the UIL, Dr. Jamie Harrison.
Let's go.
Who is kind of he's like the realignment czar. That's not an official title, but
it should be.
He's the guy who like digs into the weeds on it.
Yeah.
He's a realignment nerd like me and Step, and so kindred spirits. He will join us during the show as well, plus other coaches getting live reaction to UIL realignment coming up at 8:45 a.m. on Thursday. But we'll give everybody a refresher on how realignment works coming up here at the back half of the program. Do we have first four through the door?
We sure do. It was Ed McElroy, jersey number 69, nice. Daniel Agnew, and happy belated birthday to our very own Vianney Moreno.
Is she in the comments?
Who was in the comments, one, saying that Mr. 305 sent it himself, which rocks. And two, yesterday was her birthday. Happy birthday, V.
I wonder if she's still listening. I wished her happy birthday this morning. I wonder if she's still listening. We're going to find out on a delay here in about 20.
It looks like it's on her phone.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll find out. I keep looking at her. Knock on the door. There we go. Yeah, we got the right.
But happy birthday, VNA.
That's right. Happy birthday, VNA. Her Instagram was popping this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
She was, what is she, like 22 now?
24.
God. Rude.
Yeah.
Let's get to some headlines from across the state of Texas. We'll start in the high school ranks and a huge breaking news story that came down Saturday, which is Lovejoy, as we mentioned, has been looking for a head coach. Chris Ross left to become the offensive coordinator at Stephen F. Austin.
Which rocks in and of itself.
Good hire by Colby Carthel. That leaves open a big job in the DFW Metroplex. That job has now been filled. It has been filled by Todd Dodge.
He's back.
The retired state champion Texas High School Football Hall of Fame head coach, a 7-time state champion, is coming out of retirement to return to the sidelines to become the head coach of the Lovejoy Leopards. He talked to Matt Stepp. Matt Stepp confirmed this with Coach Dodge on Saturday morning. I'll just read one of the quotes. About mid-football season of this season and going into the playoffs, I kind of knew I wanted to get back in, he told Matt Stepp. I've been close to things watching a bunch of Carroll games. His son, of course, Riley Dodge, head coach at South Lake Carroll. And I've been watching games on Huddle to keep my mind sharp and stay on top of things. So I knew I wanted back in. I feel like I got some gas left in the tank.
AKA Todd Dodge is a football junkie.
Yeah. There's a couple of things. Now, I have not spoken with Coach Dodge, so I want to make sure that I'm laying this out there as this is an I feel thing. Mm-hmm. This is not an I know thing. So Todd Dodge, of course, won 3 consecutive state championships at Westlake and retired for 2 years. He was out for the 2022 and 2023 seasons. I think, or I feel, however you want to say that, I feel like obviously he's still got that football itch, mm-hmm. right? And again, this is going to be just speculation here. Todd Dodge is also a grandfather, mm-hmm. and Lovejoy would give him an opportunity to live in the DFW Metroplex, and his grandchildren live in the DFW Metroplex.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That is an I feel. Mm-hmm. I don't know that. Maybe he doesn't like his grandkids. I don't think that's the case, mm-hmm. but that to me ticks a lot of boxes there.
Well, and it makes sense too because it's hard to find a job up in this area that is not in a multi-school district. Mm-hmm. You know, like it's few and far between. And he's always been a one-school guy between mm-hmm. South Lake Carroll, Westlake, like all of that stuff has always been one-school guy. So it makes sense why Lovejoy would be such an appealing job for him. It's a one-school community. It's a community that's really passionate about football, that has some good talent going through it, and he can come be with the little ones. That seems fantastic.
Absolutely. So Todd Dodge, back on the sideline.
And I'm sure his lovely wife, Elizabeth, was like, please go do something. You're irritating me.
Please
get out of the house.
That is also not a fact. I want to be clear. I want to draw a clear line delineation between fact and speculation.
But Miss Elizabeth's a very smart woman, and it seems pretty on brand.
Another big step bomb coming down. And by the way, this is presently unconfirmed. We have sources telling Dave Campbell's Texas Football, telling Matt Stepp, that tonight, when there is a board meeting down in Hewitt, at Hewitt Midway, that they are going to hire Joe Gillespie to be their next head coach. Joe Gillespie, you may know as the defensive coordinator for TCU. He was a finalist for the Broyles Award, given to the nation's top assistant in 2022 when he helped lead TCU to the national championship game. And now it appears he is primed to get back into the high school coaching world, where he can take over as the head coach at Hewitt Midway. He is a very accomplished high school football coach as well. He started his career as an assistant under Art Briles at Stephenville. He was part of 2 state championship teams there. He was then promoted to head coach at Stephenville, replacing Chad Morris, and would later go on, who would later go on be head coach at SMU in Arkansas. He went 72-23 in 7 seasons as the head coach at Stephenville, including a state championship in 2012. But Joe Gillespie, Matt Stepp reporting on TexasFootball.com that he will be taking over, if a pending board approval tonight, will be taking over as the new head coach of the Hewitt Midway Panthers.
That'd be huge.
Very interesting.
Is he from down there?
I don't
know.
What a great question.
I just didn't know if it. I mean, it might just be because it's a great job, but I also wonder if there was any sort of family ties down there at all.
That's a great question. I don't know. Honestly.
He might just straight up want to get out of the college game and say, "Hey, let's go be a head coach." You know,
his son Jake just finished his senior season at Aledo and is going to go play at Stephen F. Austin in Nacogdoches. Nice. So I don't know if that's necessarily like a hop, skip, and a jump, but
I was thinking, well, that might be a closer drive.
Closer than Fort Worth.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will say that. But very interesting as Hewitt Midway appears to be on the verge of making a big splash. Okay. Let's bounce back into the college ranks, and let's talk about what's going on at Texas State. Okay?
There's a lot.
Now, I want to try to paint a full picture of what's going on here, and our Ishmael Johnson has been all over this story on TexasFootball.com. So, a couple of weeks ago, there was a report that Texas State was going to sign Arizona transfer quarterback Jayden de Laura. Mm-hmm. That Jayden de Laura was going to move from he had entered the transfer portal where he was pretty darn successful at Arizona for a couple of years and was going to come to Texas State. As a result, this is not a direct, who knows what was going on, but I think here's another fact of the matter, is that soon after that came out, TJ Finley, who the incumbent starting quarterback for Texas State, mm-hmm. who had announced he was coming back, entered the transfer portal and soon announced that he was going to transfer to Western Kentucky. Okay? You follow me? They go get Jayden de Laura. The current quarterback goes like, no, I'm good, thanks, and heads out and goes to transfers to Western Kentucky. There's a lot of backlash about Jayden de Laura, and the Jayden de Laura, it was considered controversial because of his involvement in a civil case in Hawaii that alleged sexual assault against a fellow minor while he was in high school. Okay, he was involved in a civil case in Hawaii that alleged sexual assault against a fellow minor back when he was in high school. From what I understand, that has since been settled. That has since that case is no longer active. It has come to a close. But there were folks around Texas State who were not pleased with G.J. Kinney and Texas State bringing in Jayden de Laura, in large part because of that.
Right.
Then comes the report, this from our own Mike Craven, broken by Mike Craven on TexasFootball.com. This came down last week, that Jayden de Laura will no longer be transferring to Texas State. Texas State put out a statement. Jayden de Laura has withdrawn from Texas State University as a student and will not be part of the Texas State football program. I don't know whose idea it was for him to not be there. I don't know if this was him looking around saying this isn't the right place for me,
right,
or somebody on staff politely asking him to leave, or not very politely asking him to leave. Whatever the case may be, Jayden de Laura will now not be part of the Texas State football program. So now, what happens to the quarterback situation at Texas State? It's very interesting. I will bring you, Pickle, here's a completely unrelated story. 2 days later, January 26th, our Ishmael Johnson reports that G.J. Kinney at Texas State is close to hiring Chad Morris to be his wide receiver coach and passing game coordinator. Chad Morris, of course, is the former SMU head coach, former Arkansas head coach. He'll be replacing Craig Stutzman, who left to become the offensive coordinator at San Jose State. Okay. The other thing that Chad Morris is
a father,
is Chandler Morris's dad. And Chandler Morris, of course, just entered the transfer portal and announced that he was going to transfer to North Texas. Now, from what I understand, ink ain't dry on that.
Nope. Which then
those are
North Texas,
those
former
are facts.
Starting quarterback
Yes.
Chandler Rogers entered the transfer portal after the news of Chandler Morris coming in.
Correct. All of these things may not be connected. They may all be independent stories on TexasFootball.com.
Or they could all be very much connected.
Or they could literally be dominoes.
Yep.
Who are we to say? That is the present state of play here. We haven't heard anything about Chandler Morris and where he's going to land. The last we heard was that he was going to transfer to North Texas. But his dad did just get hired at Texas State, who suddenly needs a quarterback. Mm-hmm. Watch this space. It's been very messy.
It has been messy.
Speaking of transfer portal, this kind of flew under the radar, but this came down early last week that Branson Hickman announced that he is entering the transfer portal. He has been the starting center at SMU for the last 3 seasons. He started 33 games at center over the last 4 years, and was a big part, a key cog in the SMU offensive line as it bridged from Sonny Dykes to Rhett Lashley. He was second-team All-AAC on the offensive line. He will have 1 year of eligibility left. This is a pretty big blow, I think, to to SMU, as they're losing their starting center. So keep an eye on that. Branson Hickman announced that he will be transferring, or rather entering the transfer portal. Keep an eye on that as SMU's starting center is now entering the transfer portal. A couple of headlines out of the burgeoning UTRGV. Mm-hmm. Of course, the head coach there at UTRGV is Coach Travis Bush. He has hired somebody to be their director of high school relations.
A guy he knows pretty well.
He has hired Bruce Bush, mm-hmm. his dad. Of course, he's his dad, but that's not to say that Bruce Bush doesn't know his way around football. This is a guy who took Gregory Portland to 2 state championship appearances. He's a member of the THSCA Hall of Honor, an RGV Sports Hall of Famer, and a Coastal Bend Coaches Hall of Famer. A guy who won 271 games in 34 years as a head coach. The Niederland product is back in the game. He's going to be the director of high school relations for his son down at UTRGV.
Did you see the tweet that Travis Bush put out about that? He kind of quote tweeted it afterwards, and he said, this guy gave me my first job out of college. It's only fitting I give him his last. I thought that was pretty
very cool. Very, very cool.
Pretty cool.
Speaking of UTRGV, as Travis Bush continues to fill out his staff, he has brought in Marcus Coleman as an assistant to be their special teams coordinator and cornerback coach. Marcus Coleman, Texas Tech fans may remember him as an All-American defensive back. He was all Southwest Conference twice back in the mid-90s. He has most recently been at Trinity for the last 5 years as their special teams coordinator and defensive backs coach. So keep an eye on that as UTRGV continues to assemble their staff. Marcus Coleman, the newest member of Travis Bush's staff.
Dude, also real fast, just to say this, we talked a lot about recruiting visits looking a lot of fun and stuff like that. If I was on the recruiting staff for UTRGV, I would be in serious trouble because the food that they eat consistently down there, I would be on like my 600-pound life. Like that's literally what would happen. I don't know how they survive because the food always looks so good. You would be
Chunky Pickle.
Yeah. Yes.
There's no way.
No way about it.
Some high school football coaching news to round us out. Canyon Lake has been looking for a head coach down there in Comal ISD. They have found one in the form of Tomball Memorial head coach Sam Parker, who's leaving Tomball Memorial. He was very successful, 93-63 overall as a head coach. He became head coach at Spring when he was 29, and has been really, really strong there at Tomball Memorial, helping them grow. He's had 3 seasons of 10 or more wins. The Cleburne native, of course, is a football lifer. His dad, Dennis Parker, was a longtime head coach in Texas and won a title at Marshall as the head coach in 1990. He's going to be the next head coach at Canyon Lake. So Tomball Memorial is now open. Keep an eye on that. The tradition of the Torres brothers all moving out of El Paso to far-flung areas of the state continues apace as Buda Hayes Consolidated has hired Mark Torres from El Paso Pebble Hills to be their next head coach. Mark Torres has done a phenomenal job there at Pebble Hills, kind of building them very quickly into one of the powerhouses there in El Paso, starting them from a JV schedule in 2015 to go 47-36 over a span, including 18-5 in the last 2 seasons, went 10-2 back in 2022. Hayes is in need of a boost, but I'll tell you that the Torres brothers have a history of doing this. You may remember that his brother Ruben Torres is the head coach at Marlin, and his brother Matt Torres is the head coach at Houston Sharpstown. Now, Paso Pebble Hills, by the way, is going to be a sought-after job out there in the Sun City. Keller Central has made a hire, and it's a name folks may know. Former NFL safety and defensive coordinator from Hearst LD Bell, Eric Vance, will be the next head coach at Keller Central, taking over for Mike Sports, who left earlier this year, as Keller Central has their new head coach in Eric Vance, who was played at Vanderbilt and then went on played 6 seasons in the NFL for the Chargers, Buccaneers, and Patriots. So keep an eye on Keller Central. They have found their new head coach. Finally, back down to New Braunfels. We mentioned this. So New Braunfels is opening another high school. I don't know if you knew this. New Braunfels ISD is opening another high school. It will be New Braunfels Long Creek,
which would give them their third.
I
correct?
think that's right. Yeah,
New Braunfels, and then Canyon, and then now this one.
I believe that's correct. Yes, but New Braunfels is opening Long Creek, and they have found their next head coach. It is Adam Harvey, the co-defensive coordinator from Schertz Clemens. He's going to be their next head coach. He's been at Schertz Clemens the past couple of years. Before that, he spent 2 years as the defensive coordinator at Hutto. But he is going to be the first head coach of the New Braunfels Long Creek Dragons?
Yes, the logo is pretty sick.
The Dragons. The Dragons are going to play us JV schedule 2024, probably an outlaw schedule, varsity schedule in 2025, and then they will be aligned into a UIL district in 2026. So excited to see what Coach Adam Harvey can do there as the new head coach at New Braunfels Long Creek. That is all the news that's fit to print. You can find all that and more at TexasFootball.com. We are at Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. TexasFootball.com is where you can find complete coverage of high school football, college football, and recruiting all across the Lone Star State. Coming up here in just a moment, the exclusive reveal of the 2023 Whataburger Super Team. But first, a word from these valued partners.
I feel like bustin' loose, come on. Get on up. Oh yeah, get on up. Bustin' loose when you wanna sing. Bustin' loose, baby, do your thing. Talking about bustin' loose, yeah.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Potter, Executive Director of Be Well Texas. Too many people are struggling alone these days, and alcohol and drug deaths are increasing. We started Be Well Texas to offer high-quality, science-based addiction treatment and recovery services anywhere, even at home. We provide compassionate, caring support virtually or in person. In many cases, there is no cost for treatment if you don't have insurance. Really. Welcome to Be Well Texas. We're glad you're here.
Wing is the largest residential drone delivery provider in the world, delivering to your home in less than 30 minutes. Order using an app just like other popular delivery services, and Wing's automated drone takes care of the rest. It's fast, safe, and sustainable, and it's now delivering to parts of Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. You can learn more at wing.com/TexasFootball. Again, that's wing.com/TexasFootball.
Born and bred in Texas hits a little different, as it should. Texas loves doing business with fellow Texans. VCR now takes its Texas roots as seriously as its many partnerships with schools and universities around the state. It's also why we're so proud to promote our brand in the pages of the Texas Bible, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and on the airwaves of Texas Football Today. Driven by producing quality broadcast video, state-of-the-art audio, and LED video scoreboards at affordable prices, VCR now makes sure to listen to your needs in its athletic department before recommending the next best steps. Building great products is our business, and it's our focus on building meaningful, long-term partnerships with our clients that sets us apart. From our 24/7, 365-day help desk, the training lab in our hometown of Red Oak, or our sports marketing business plan that puts money back in the hands of our athletic departments we support, VCR Now is built to last. Reach out to us today at info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW. Again, that's info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW.
All right, Pickle. It is now time to roll out the 2023 Whataburger Super Team. Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Whataburger are proud to honor the best and brightest stars in Texas high school football with the announcement of the 2023 Whataburger Super Team. Texas high school football fans across the state of Texas cast more than 1.7 million votes.
Goodness gracious. That rocks.
On TexasFootball.com, and 40 outstanding athletes from all parts of Texas rose to the top to be named with this unique honor. You can find more information at TexasFootball.com/whatasuperteam. Without further ado, let's roll out the 40-member 2023 Whataburger Super Team. At quarterback, DJ Lagway from Willis. At running back, Joseph Dodds from Tidehaven and Taylor Tatum from Longview. At receiver and tight end, Micah Hudson from Lake Belton, Jaden Smith from Ingleside, and Draylon Miller from Silsbee. On the offensive line, Cohen Eccles from Katy, Blake Frazier from Austin Vandegrift, Gibson Pyle from Klein Cain, Ellis Davis from Prosper, and Holton Hendricks from Lubbock Cooper. The kicker is Diego Chavarria from Stephenville. The 4 utility spots on the offense: Jacoby Williams from Beckville, Hoss Haney from Aledo, Freddie Dubose from Smithson Valley, and Axel Chavez Jr. from Laredo United. On the defensive side, the defensive linemen Nigel Smith from Melissa, Dalen Evans from Longview Pine Tree, and Colin Simmons from Duncanville. At linebacker, it was Xavier Atkins from Humble Summer Creek, Brandon Booker from DeSoto, and Justin Williams from Conroe Oak Ridge. In the defensive backfield, Kobe Black from Waco Connolly, Cadavian Dotson from Duncanville, Xavier Filsamy from McKinney, and Peyton Morgan from Pflugerville. The punter is Christopher Valenzuela from El Paso. And the 4 utility spots on the defensive side, Corian Gibson from Lancaster, Tyler Lane from Timpson, Caleb Mitchell Irving from Dallas Parish Episcopal, and Ty Anthony Smith from Jasper. We then had 10 Fans' Choice honorees here. 10 Fans' Choice. This is basically the next highest vote getter in each of the positions. So there's obviously only one quarterback spot, so the next highest quarterback, etc. The Fans' Choice quarterback was Terry Bussey from Timpson. The Fans' Choice running back was Jamal Pauly from Edinburgh Vela. The Fans' Choice wide receiver and tight end was Jackson Shoup from Edinburgh Vela. The Fans' Choice offensive lineman was Luke Miller from Round Rock. The Fans' Choice defensive lineman was Carson Plunkett from Lindale. Fans' Choice linebacker Gabriel Anderson Dale from Killeen Harker Heights. The Fans' Choice defensive back, Tate Fahey from Kerrville-Tivy. Fans' Choice kicker, Cooper Crawford from Royce City. And the Fans' Choice punter, Jaden Fletcher from Killeen Harker Heights. So there it is, the 2023 Whataburger Super Team. Congratulations to all the honorees. You can get more information at TexasFootball.com/WhatASuperTeam and follow them on social media at WhatASuperTeam. Congratulations to all of them. I would say that our voters did a pretty good job.
Good job.
Pretty good list.
That's a high honor too. 40 out of everybody across the state. Like you think we talk all the time, 1,500 schools. Mm-hmm. Multiply that by how many players there are. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Fans
Congratulations to the honorees of the 2023 Whataburger Super Team. All right, Pickle. One last thing to do today. And that is tell you a little bit about realignment. So UIL realignment is coming on Thursday. We'll be live from Birdville at 8:45 a.m. There will not be a noon show. We're going to be on at 8:45 a.m. instead. 8:45 till about 10. Breaking down realignment as it is released at 9 a.m. And it is a moment of great panic for coaches across the state.
Which means it's just fun for us.
It's great intrigue for us as we get to find out what Texas high school football, and all sports, I should say, will look like over the next 2 seasons, starting in 2024-25. But we can sit here and tell you about who's going where and what that means. But in the end, the best thing we can do is show you how UIL realignment works. We made this video back in 2022, which was a great breakdown of how UIL realignment works and why it's so important. If you didn't know, now you'll know. Here is how UIL realignment works on Texas Football Today.
Everyone knows that Texas high school football is king. But as big as the state championships may be, perhaps the biggest day of the Texas high school football calendar comes every other February. Let us explain. Dave Campbell's Texas Football presents How Texas High School Football Works, UIL Realignment. Let's start with the basics. The UIL is the University Interscholastic League, the governing body for extracurricular activities in Texas public schools, including Texas high school football. And they have a big job. There are 1,253 Texas high school football teams in the UIL, and they come in all shapes and sizes. The largest school in Texas is Allen, with 7,102 students. The smallest school in Texas with a football team is Del City, with 14 students. In other words, the largest school is 507 times bigger than the smallest school. These schools are also spread out. The distance between the westernmost school, Anthony, and the easternmost school, Burkeville, is 764 miles. That's farther than the distance between New York City and Atlanta, Georgia. So how do you make Texas high school football work with all these variables? We told you the UIL has a big job. Every 2 years, the UIL redraws the districts in which Texas high school football teams play. We call this realignment. It starts in October on Snapshot Day. That's the day that every school turns in their enrollment number, how many students attend their school, to the UIL. The UIL gathers this data, and then it's time to divide the schools for the first time into 6 roughly even classifications. For example, if your school has fewer than 105 students, your school is placed in Class 1A. If your school has more than 105 students, but fewer than 249 students, your school is placed in Class 2A. This goes on and on all the way up to Class 6A, which is comprised of schools with more than 2,225 students. So now we have the schools separated into 6 relatively even classifications, but there's another important step before we really get going. In Class 5A, 4A, 3A, 2A, and 1A, the UIL splits those classifications in half into 2 divisions. They're called Division 1 for the bigger schools and Division 2 for the smaller schools. So let's take Class 3A as an example. Class 3A is comprised of schools with an enrollment between 544 students and 250 students. There are 204 of these schools. The midpoint here is 360. There are 102 schools with an enrollment between 544 and 360. Those 102 schools will be 3A Division 1. There are 102 schools with an enrollment between 359 and 250. Those 102 schools will be 3A Division 2. Okay, so we've now divided the schools into classifications and divisions. Here comes the fun part. It's time to divide these teams up into districts based on where you are in the state. Think of it like this. The goal is to play teams of comparable size that are closest to you. There are 32 districts in each classification. Districts 1 through 32 in Class 6A, and districts 1 through 16 in each division of Class 5A, 4A, 3A, 2A, and 1A. Those districts also fall into 4 regions. Region 1 is the first quarter of the districts, Region 2 is the second quarter of the districts, and so on. Generally speaking, the districts start out west and snake their way through Texas clockwise. District 1 is usually as far west as possible, like El Paso, then through West Texas and the Panhandle into North Texas, into Central Texas and out to East Texas, down to Southeast Texas near Houston, then over to South Texas, and finishing in the Rio Grande Valley. It's not always like this, but this is a pretty good rule of thumb. As we said, this is a tough job. Texas has clusters of schools in big cities and other schools that are way out by themselves, and they all need to fit together. For example, what do you do with a team like Stephenville? The 2021 4A Division I state champions have been in a district with Waco and Dallas-Fort Worth schools for the last 2 years, but they could very easily go west to the big country this time around. And there's a million other factors to sort through, like large school districts who want to keep all their teams together and schools that ask to play in a larger classification to reduce their travel. In the end, the UIL tries to make evenly divided districts of comparable sized teams in close proximity to one another for more than 1,200 teams across the state of Texas. Did we mention that this is a tough job? When the alignments are released, we will know what Texas high school football will look like for the next 2 years. And this is huge because it tells us what the Texas high school football playoffs will look like. To win a state championship, you first have to qualify for the playoffs by beating the teams in your own district. Then, you have to battle the teams in your regions, the districts nearest to yours. And UIL realignment is the roadmap for all 1,253 UIL Texas high school football teams. They will then know the path they must walk to win a state championship. Now you know why every 2 years, UIL realignment is arguably the biggest day on the Texas high school football calendar. Get ready.
There it is. How UIL realignment works. That video is a couple years old because we made it for the 2022 realignment. So some of the numbers may have changed. But
you can go on the UIL website, and if you literally type in classification cutoff, it'll into Google, it'll literally take you straight there.
We've got them on TexasFootball.com.
They don't
as
change
well.
that much.
There's some movement around, but now we know, and we will know fully on Thursday exactly what Texas high school football is going to look like for the next 2 years. So that's exciting. It's a big day. It's one of the things I think I apologize if I made this point on the air before, but the closest thing, realignment day, the closest thing we have to it, I would say, is like March Madness Selection Sunday when the bracket gets released.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, wow, like Kansas is going to play St. Mary's in the first round or something like that. That's the closest thing we have. We just have to, because it's not as clean, we have to like explain it a little bit more and be like, here's why this is important and why. Oh, wow, they moved from, like, for example, if I were to tell you that a team moves from 17-6A to 16-6A, like that would, to most people, it'd be like, okay, who cares? But for us,
it's huge.
Like alarms are going off because whoa, they moved to the other side of the bracket.
Yep, that's exactly what I was gonna say. And this is gonna be considered final thoughts. But we had Lisa on, who is the head. She's one of the assistant athletic directors at Birdville. We had her on WTF, and we asked her because she's been doing this for years. She's been the one that organizes the whole shebang that we go to. And we said, for somebody that might not know what it's like in that room, she said it perfectly. I never thought about it this way. She goes, it literally feels like you're on Wall Street. Like it feels like you're watching the stock market, because it's like, it's so much chaos. There's so many people doing so many different things, but it all comes out at once. And then instantly it's in the like, who can make trade in stocks and deals and all of that stuff. So anyway, it's basically like Wall Street, but like stonks instead of stocks.
Because the other thing is, it really is stonk watching.
It's stonk watching.
The other thing is that, let's just say that Pickle High School has been in a 7-team district forever. Okay? That means you're going to have 6 district games, and you're going to need 4 non-district games. Let's just say the UIL says, hey, this time around, you're going to be in a 6-team district.
Yep.
That's where it gets really interesting, because all these teams, you're going to look for one more non-district game, and so people are like holding up, like, I need a 4. I need a 4. And like, nobody's looking at Reginald Samples in the eye.
No.
You know, like,
yeah. Anybody when Jake Fazell walks by, they're like, no.
No, man. No. Like, Denny Faith has no friends that day. Like, it's an amazing situation.
Kevin Hoffman, Mart always has a real hard time finding people to play him in non-district.
So
they start tweeting that out before realignment even happens. Then it only gets worse when realignment does happen.
It's a fun day there at realignment. We will be there live at Birdville, which is there's basically 2 real big hubs.
3, right? Isn't Abilene pretty big
Abilene
too?
is a big one too.
And then
you're
San
right.
Marcos.
San Marcos, the other one, THSCA, and then this one in Birdville. We're going to be there live, talking with coaches, getting live reaction. Matt Stepp will have his breakdown because Matt Stepp will be seeing it for the first time too. So if you've ever just wanted to see Matt Stepp's shock face, it's a great opportunity to do that. My shocked face too. You know?
We talked a lot about Stepp being like Stepp's Super Bowl. Realignment is his Super Bowl. It's fun to watch.
He's in his bag. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. For Ashley Pickle, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please get your Player of the Year trophy. We will see you tomorrow. Sure will, Bob, on Texas Football Today.